Hello and welcome to today's podcast on men, mindsets and mental health. I'm Shubhangi Bhagavati, a counseling psychologist at Antarmanh, and today we are diving into something that, let's be honest, does not get talked about enough. Men's mental health. Yup, you heard me right. It's time we pull back the curtain and have a real conversation about what's going on beneath the surface. Now, let's set the scene. Imagine a guy, we'll call him Jack. He's got a good job, great friends, maybe even a six-pack. On the outside, life looks great. But Jack hasn't slept well in weeks. His head's full of worries he does not talk about because, well, what's the point? He thinks he's supposed to have it all together, right? Well, does that sound familiar? Let's be real here. Jack isn't alone. In fact, if you're listening right now, maybe you have your own version of this story. Maybe you have been that guy who shrugs off stress or laughs off the idea of therapy thinking, nah, I've got this. But do you? Here's the thing. For decades, men have been fed this idea that emotions are some kind of kryptonite. Be strong, don't cry, man up. You know the drill. It's like we have been handed this outdated manual for life that forgot to include how to deal with feelings without imploding. And honestly, that's not just exhausting, it's dangerous. Studies show that men are less likely to talk about their feelings, less likely to seek help, but get this, more likely to experience the severe consequences of not doing so. Yep, we are talking about stress, anxiety, depression, even suicide. Heavy stuff, I know, but here's the kicker. It does not have to be this way. Let's switch gears for a second. Ever tried fixing something without reading the instructions? You know, like assembling IKEA furniture, thinking how hard can it be? Then 2 hours later, you're left with 3 extra screws and a bookshelf that's more like modern art. Well, that's kind of what it's like navigating mental health without the right tools. So what if we looked at mental health differently? What if we stopped seeing it as something weak or unmanly and started seeing it for what it is? Just a part of being human? Well, here's a thought. Strength isn't about never failing. It's about how you get back up. It's about acknowledging when things feel heavy and finding the courage to say, I could use some help. Let's make this relatable. Think about your car. You wouldn't ignore that little blinking engine light forever, would you? You would check it out, maybe take it to a mechanic. So why, when it comes to your mental health, do we just ignore the warning signs? And hey, I get it. Talking about feelings can feel awkward at first. But trust me, it's worth it. Start small. Call up a friend and say, hey, this week's been rough. Or take a walk, clear your head, and remind yourself that it's okay to not have it all figured out. At the end of the day, mental health isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And guys, let's stop pretending we are superhuman. Real strength comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all. So before we wrap this up, I want you to know you're not alone. If this topic hit home, reach out to someone you trust. At Antarmanh, we have got counselors, therapists, and resources designed specifically to make these conversations easier, more accessible, and judgment-free. So please reach out. And here's my challenge for you. After this podcast, take one step. Just one. Whether that's opening up to someone, journaling your thoughts, or even just sitting with your feelings instead of brushing them off. You would be surprised how much that small step can grow. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today and for being open to this conversation. Remember, it's okay to not be okay, but you don't have to stay there. Thank you.